21 Kenyan cabinet ministers are now out of work following sustained pressure from Kenyans as well as problems of their own making.
You are not a messenger. You are not a security person. You are not a photographer. You are not a watchman. You are the PS or the minister. And the job of the minister and the PS, you don't know.
Those were President William Ruto's remarks on August 1st, 2023, when he met his cabinet ministers for the signing of performance contracts at State House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. About a year later, he has fired all of them except Foreign Affairs Minister Musalia Mudavadi. On July 5th, the president indicated he would reorganize his government, but many did not expect the surgical operation would be that deep. Ruto's action mirrors that of Kenya's third president, Mwai Kibaki, who fired his entire cabinet in November 2005 after losing a constitutional change referendum. Political analysts said Kibaki had interpreted the referendum loss as Kenyans expressing misgivings about his government. Ruto recently found himself in an almost similar situation. Unlike Kibaki, who made the decision following a referendum outcome, Ruto's action was prompted by widespread anti-tax protests as well as lack of faith in his government. Surveys show nearly all of Ruto's ministers scored below 50% in approval ratings. His ministers had been accused of being clueless about their duties, abuse of office, and also lacking empathy. The education and moral integrity of some of them was also called into question. Some of the issues that Kenyans said were poorly managed by the ministers, who were largely politicians, include the country's economy, electricity stability, healthcare, education, and immigration. When he appeared on X Space on July 5th, Ruto acknowledged some of the issues Kenyans had raised about his ministers. In 2005, Kibaki briefly left the running of government to himself, the then Vice President Moody Awori, and high-ranking ministry officials called permanent secretaries, who are known as principal secretaries today. Ruto has also done the same, leaving cabinet tasks to himself, his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, Foreign Affairs Minister Musalia Mudavadi, Secretary to the Cabinet Mercy Wanjau, and principal secretaries. The president said he will appoint new ministers after consulting with officials in public and private sectors. Kenya's constitution, which was adopted in 2010, sets the minimum number of cabinet ministers at 14 and the maximum at 22. The law does not say much about specific qualifications of a cabinet minister, apart from they should not be members of parliament or should not act in a way that demeans the office they hold. The Constitution gives the President powers to nominate a minister who must thereafter get parliamentary approval before taking the oath of office. It could take Ruto several weeks to reassemble his cabinet. Kibaki took slightly over 2 weeks to reconstitute his government. Elsewhere in Africa, Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera sacked his entire cabinet in January 2022. The country's former president, Joyce Banda, also axed her entire cabinet in October 2013. South Sudan's Salva Kiir sacked all its ministers in 2013.